Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Paddock Talk channel. Today, we're bringing you our reaction to the AMR21 Aston Martin Cognizant F1 team. Bit of a tongue twister, but that's what they kept referring to in the announcement video earlier on today. Well, I mean, just look at it. I mean, it's striking. That racing green. Although, is it racing green? There's all sorts of shades of green and blue. Well, it's definitely green. But what is it? Is it the proper racing green? Who knows? And we've also got the pink of the BWT as well, striped throughout it. It's not the sort of light pink that was sort of the primary car of the Racing Point last year. It's sort of the accented hotter pink that they used in their last few years. But it looks really, really good. Unfortunately, it did get leaked about an hour or two beforehand, so we got a chance to see it early. But I still think it looks really, really good. Yeah, I mean the expectations were high, and therefore it had a lot of scope to go wrong. But I think it's lived up to those expectations, and I think it looks really, really good. What do you guys think?
Well, I'm a huge Aston Martin fan in their GT endurance escapades, and I think they've done this beautifully. I think the pink that they've added on, people were suggesting that there's going to be more pink than this, and it was going to be a bit of a mess. But I think the way it's been done with the accents and the stripe down the side and on the front wing, I think it just looks beautiful. It really works well with the car. People probably say that they prefer the neon yellow or like grello as it's called, but I think that they've done a really, really good job. I think under more natural light, it looks a lot better than what it does in the first photos they released of it, which sort of made people's opinion be a bit not all there. But apart from that, I think it's a brilliant looking car. I think the sort of green that they've introduced for this car, it's not quite proper British racing green, but it is really close to it along, but keeping with like the Cognizant sort of color, because Cognizant I think are mainly a blue blue company with like their logo and stuff. So I think they've really sort of blended the two quite nicely, and it reminds me really, really much of the WEC cars from Aston Martin, especially sort of late 2010s and even before that as well, when they had the DBR9 racing. But I think it's just a stunning, stunning car. It's easily my favourite that's been revealed so far, and I just can't be more chuffed with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I totally agree with Nat on that one. I think they've just absolutely nailed it. I think even though you could maybe one says boring, the other person could say clean. I think it's, less is more in some cases, and I think it's definitely the case with this. That green, even though some people are debating whether it's British racing green or not, it reminds me of sort of the green that we saw back on in their endurance racing campaigns in the mid 2000s with their DBR9s. It just oozes class. If I'm being honest, it is just perfect in every single way. I think the pink as well, the way they've put that onto the car, they've nailed it. I'm glad they haven't sort of made a botched job of it, because I think that could have possibly ruined it, but they've just done it to absolute perfection with this. It's probably my favourite livery that I've seen so far, up there, the Alfa Romeo. But overall, it's an absolute stunner.
It's just what Aston Martin should look like. It's stylish, it's classy, it's clean.
Exactly.
It just works with Aston Martin. I don't think any other team could get away with this, but Aston Martin can, because it just works. It's hard to explain it, but it just is an Aston Martin F1 livery.
Yeah, it just works a treat, doesn't it?
I just can't see any other livery going onto this car. It's just perfect.
And like you guys mentioned about the sort of clean aspect, there were obviously we knew Cognizant, they're blue. We knew BWT, they're pink, and we knew that. So it could have been quite messy with quite a lot of colors being tried to integrate with the pink, the blue, the green. So it could have been messy. But like I said, they've gone for quite a simple design. But I'm totally agreeing with you guys. I think it just looks really, really nice. Some people have been calling it the watermelon Mercedes because the color scheme is essentially the same as Mercedes if you think about it, with the pink stripe. Replace that with turquoise, and they've replaced the green with the black, and it could be seen quite similar. Obviously, I don't think that's by design. And they've also got a really nice spread of sponsors as well. I mean, you've got Lance's JCB making a return. You've got the Cognizant, you've got the Crypto, you've got the Peroni. So yeah, it's always good to see sponsors on an F1 car, and Lawrence Stroll's investment is really paying off. And it's just, I mean, what a turnaround for this team, really. If you think about 2018, a couple of years ago, they were in proper trouble. It's only because of that, how quick the turnaround was, that people sort of forget about it, I think. I mean, Racing Point, Aston Martin, if you think about it, they only started halfway through 2018, and now they're here, finished fourth in the constructors, and they've got Aston Martin as their title sponsor. I mean, it's just crazy to think about. And as sort of everyone's been saying, they've always worked well on a very tight budget, and now they're going to have the chance to have a bigger budget, and we're gonna see that. So I think a lot of people have been writing them off. I feel like, or people thinking McLaren will be better. I mean, I don't really get into predictions too much, but I just think this is a very underrated competition. I am a bit of an Aston Martin fan as well, Racing Point fan, and just the announcement video, the live stream really excited me for their prospects for this year. We've also got some suits to look at, the overalls, and they have. I mean, again, it's reasonably basic with those pink shoulders. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it looks basic, but it just works. I think when I first saw them, I was like, okay, why the pink on the shoulder pads? Not quite a huge fan of that, but now I look at it more and more and more, it just works. I think it works better than what the Grello would work with the race suits. The sponsors aren't cluttered either. They're also not patched on like McLaren did. I think they've implemented it really well, like how Alfa Romeo did when they released their race suits. It just is very clean, very, very smart, tidy. Disappointed they didn't try and go for like a tuxedo look to try and make it James Bondy, but it's just a nice, clean race suit, and it just complements the car.
Yeah, just following on from what Nat said there, I think the suits, they're exactly what you want from an Aston Martin team. They're nothing too excessive. It's not in your face. It's not trying to be something that it isn't. It's classy. It's clean, and it's just tidy, isn't it? Really, I think. Although the pink, I'm not too sold on the pink on the race suits at the moment. I'm pretty sure that will grow on me over time because it already is beginning to grow on me. In fact, but I think overall, I think Aston Martin have just absolutely nailed their full package. I think as well, one thing we haven't actually touched on was the launch itself, which I think they nailed brilliantly on that front. I think the way
Apart from when the presenter forgot a lines.
Yeah, apart from that little hiccup, I think the way they had Dave do the narration at the start of that video, I think that video was class, if I'm being honest. And the way they managed to sort of generate that hype for it, even though throughout this whole off season, they've absolutely nailed it. So hats off to the media team at Aston Martin for that.
And I think it is also quickly worth mentioning, obviously their merch got released a few days ago, and that has the green and the light green, the Grello, the forgot what the other term is, but the lemon, that's it, or the lime, that's it, the lime coloring, and I mean, even in the mock-up, I have seen a few mock-ups of that lime color replacing the pink, and I do probably prefer that a little bit more, and a slightly different shade of green. I think that does suit a little bit better. And again, on the hat that Seb was wearing as well on the launch day, that was also the green, the lemon, the lime, the lime hat as well. So I think that was probably their initial plan. We know that the BWT deal came quite late on in the day, because they were sort of searching maybe the links to Haas and Williams if they were going to be a title sponsor there, but they signed on as a slightly less significant sponsor. Yeah. So that's why I think they just basically had to do a bit of a switcheroo with the lime and the pink coloring. And we even see in that build up video by Dave, if you do, I had a proper look through it, and you can see that there was probably going to be lime there. You can see the same sort of coloring, apart from it's all sort of whited out. But yeah, so I'm still a big fan of the pink, and I think like I said,
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
yes, it's just I just think it's a case of maybe I would prefer the sort of the more traditional colorways, but I still think this is a really good livery. I think Seb and Lance both look really good in the green, and Seb looking very happy to be there, which is always good. You want a motivated Seb.
Sorry,
to get the best out of him.
It's actually quite interesting that you did mention the merchandise, because I do have a quarter-zip from Aston Martin right next to me, and there's no BWT on it, so obviously the deal was quite late. It has the Grello neon type zipper on it, but to be fair, I'd much prefer it like that than if it had like pink on it with BWT. So I think it's a perfect sort of like contrast that you've got the merchandise in that sort of way, then you've got the car in this sort of way. Obviously, it's nicer if they match, but I think that in terms of the way it's been done, this whole Aston Martin F1 thing so far, it's just a really well thought out package.
So that has been our reaction to the Aston Martin AMR21 launch. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here. We're doing these reaction videos for every single car, and it's Haas tomorrow, I believe, on the Thursday. That's strictly just a livery. It will just be the livery plastered onto the old car. But we're going to be giving you our reaction to that, and the Williams, and then the Ferrari. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and catch you on the next one.